TechPB, and I had a couple requests for shows dealing with safety for people on their first time out at the paintball field. So I'm going to do one. The biggest thing you want to do when you get out to a paintball field, especially when it's your first time, is that most fields do have a safety orientation in the morning. Every field that I've ever played at always has one. If they don't have one, or maybe they look around and they think they have all regulars and they decide to skip it, even if it's your first time playing paintball, they all, you can go to the referees and ask them for a safety orientation. Now, usually what they'll cover in the safety orientation is some of the rules, which there are rules in paintball for safety especially. The next thing that they'll do is, generally, especially when you're renting a gun, is they will show you where the target range is so that you can go and test your gun out and get to know how your gun operates. I definitely recommend, especially when you go out for your first time, if you're renting a gun or borrowing a gun from a friend, is go out to the field, ask them where their target range is at, and shoot a couple balls at the target range. Familiarize yourself with the hopper, familiarize yourself with the gun, figure out how the barrel sock works and all that stuff. And that's one of the and also by doing that, what that does is you can also test your gun to make sure that it's shooting okay. Something that you can do is test to make sure that the velocity is set properly. Most fields, it's either 300 feet per second or about 285 feet per second. That's another question you want to ask them if you're borrowing a friend's gun. You don't want to, you don't want to have your gun set at an improper speed for the field. In some of the more advanced leagues, 300 feet per second, but then some of the more walk-on leagues, they get up to maybe about 285 feet per second. But the biggest rules, the two biggest rules in paintball are, one, when you're entering the playing zone, which is the field, it could be the woods ball field or the airball field or the speedball field, however, when you're entering that zone, and it's generally, there could be a pathway that you crossed, or it could be you walk into a net or something like that, your mask has always got to be on. The thing that you've got to realize is that when you're out there playing, even if a bug crawls into it, even if you're hit, even if even if you're injured or you scratch yourself or anything, your mask must always remain on. Because one of the things that can happen is if a lot of people, especially in the first time when they're first playing paintball, because of what they've seen in the movies and stuff like that, when they get hit, they have a tendency to raise their mask. That's one of the worst things that you can do. The reason why is because if you're playing and you raise your, and the people don't realize that you're hit, and you raise your mask as you come out, well, you just exposed your face to oncoming paint. So you need to make sure that at all times when you're out there playing, that your mask is on at all times. I'm going to show you a quick demonstration of what can happen if you do not have your mask on and how dangerous. What we're going to do here is I'm going to show you as safe as I possibly can, when you're out here playing, why you do not want to ever raise your mask. So let's just go ahead and do just a quick little corny demonstration of why you never want to raise your mask.
Ah, Jesus. Ah!
Okay, you can obviously see those paintballs were just thrown at him, okay? But you can obviously see how dangerous it could be if you raised your mask and the people shooting at you didn't realize that you were hit and that your mask was raised, okay? You can easily lose your vision, easily cause damage to the inside of your mouth. This has to stay on your face at all times. It's one of the most important things in paintball, is that this must stay on your face at all times. I've had one time my wife had a banana spider on her mask, and all she did was trying to brush it off, but she still did not take this off. Number one rule in paintball, absolute number one, is that your mask must stay on at all times when you're out there on the playing field. Now, the next thing, we talked about your safety when you're on the field, and how your safety, the most important thing is to wear your mask. The next thing with paintball safety is that anytime that you're walking off the field and walking into the pedestrian area, or sometimes they know it as a staging area or the stands or whatever, you've got to make sure that your barrel sock is on at all times. Now, a lot of people have started to get into the habit of, okay, well, my loader's not on it, okay, or my tank is not attached, okay. A lot of the paintball guns today still store air inside the gun, even when you turn the gun off, even when you take your tank out, even when you take your loader off. There is still a very small chance, and that's all the media companies need to put a story out about somebody shooting somebody, or somebody losing an eye, or a pedestrian gets shot, or somebody in the stands gets shot. You've got to remember that when you walk off the field, you have to put your barrel sock on. And this is why when they're at the field, all the people will yell at you, make sure that your barrel sock is on. So let's see what happens when you walk off the field without the barrel sock on. And this, not only should the people that work at the field do this, but you should enforce this rule also. Now, keep in mind, your field may be one accident away from getting closed down, and being a responsible paintball player is reminding the people that their barrel sock is on. It's not being rude. It's not being, it's not like you're barking at them or you're mad at them or anything. You're protecting your sport. You're protecting your field, and there's nothing wrong with telling somebody that their barrel sock is on. You are preventing an accident. And whatever could have happened, or worst case scenario, if someone could have lost an eye, I guarantee, even though they may not know, they will still thank you, okay? So always make sure when you see somebody come off the field without a barrel sock, it is your job, not the field owner's job, not their teammates' job. It is your job as a paintball player to remind them to put their barrel sock on. Barrel sock!
Yeah,
put your barrel sock on!
You should put a cover on that, like now. Yeah. All right. Yep. Okay.
Put your barrel sock on. Barrel cover. Thank you.
All right. Good job.
Thank you.
Good job. All right.
Okay. Now we're going to talk about is the importance of a barrel condom, okay, or a barrel cover. The reason why the companies have switched over to the barrel socks, the barrel covers, the barrel condoms, is because now that most of the guns now have electronic triggers, you stick a barrel plug in here, your first shot is going to send the barrel plug flying, your second shot's now shooting off into the pedestrian area. So you need to make sure that you have your barrel sock on there at all times. And something else too is you need to make sure also that your barrel sock is in good shape. Okay, I see people with the broken strings and they're all cut up and there's holes in it and stuff like that. That's not going to do you any good whatsoever if your gun accidentally shoots. So another thing that people have a tendency to do is they stick the end of their squeegee into the gun. Okay, well, that doesn't work very well. Okay, they put the end of the squeegee into the gun. Okay, and after about the first 1 or 2 shots, the squeegee comes right out. Okay, that's not going to work. This is why, the industry has gone towards the barrel socks, is because after, 5 or 6 shots, the barrel sock will still hold the gun in place. So, okay, this one I was just a little bit beat up, but after about 5 or 6 shots, the ball finally went through it, and you can see that it did stop about the first 5 or 6 shots. Most barrel socks, after you shoot your barrel, or shoot it about 5 or 6 times, that's it for that barrel sock. Throw them away. These pieces of shit, these are disposable. Okay, they're not meant to stay with your gun forever. I know you may have a cool hybrid one or a dye one that came with your gun or whatever, but these barrel socks are disposable. After a few months, throw it away. If you get a hole in it, like this one just did after about 7 or 8 balls, get rid of it. Okay, that doesn't do you any good if there's a hole in the end of your barrel sock. Okay, what's that going to stop? That's not going to stop anything. So take $5, invest it in your paintball gear, get a new barrel sock, and make sure that your barrel sock is in good shape. Something else too, your mask, your lenses on your mask, and your barrel sock should be in really good shape. You need to inspect these things. These are safety features of paintball. Your paintball field could be one accident away from being shut down. So try to prevent those accidents as much as possible. The media loves it. They jump all over it. Somebody got hurt at a paintball field. Somebody got shot with a paintball gun. They love this shit. Don't feed it to them. So, inspect your barrel sock, inspect your lens. If your barrel sock is falling apart, go buy another one.